You're lucky.
Uh,
You're lucky I had
did
it
I?
muted when you say that.
So close.
You were so close. Oh,
Yeah.
no. I'm looking like a hot, crazy mess. Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
I
Same
know, we're
here.
starting late. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look at
What?
this.
Nah.
I have the Karen haircut right now. And like my hair is all like
Yeah, just about.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Waking Up. I am Arugs, and this is my co-host, Shawn.
I was wondering how you were going to describe that.
What the fuck was that? Why do you exist?
Just to annoy you.
Facts. That's also facts. Oh, okay. So this is Waking Up, and let's do our disclaimer since we're running a little bit late because, well, we're running late. It's my fault. That's fine. And I ain't mad at it. So here on Waking Up, we're not here to bash anyone's religious beliefs or their faith. We think faith and religion are beautiful things when done in an emotionally and mentally healthy way. We're not professionals. We're not even far from professionals. Like, we're barely good in our own fields, like our actually real jobs. So like, we are two trauma kids that like to talk about our shit on the internet. Everything that we say on here is our own personal experiences, our own personal opinions. They're sort of what we use, our own strategies. However, if you do need professional help, we do have resources that we have information that can get you the help that you need. So you can contact us at Nerd Mom Ace or at Dorian Sombra on the socials, and we also have a Discord as well. Shawn can pop that up there later, but you can contact us on there, and we can certainly get you at least point you in the right direction and get you help you need. Shawn and I grew up in North Carolina in the 90s. It's sort of aging us a little bit, right in Billy Graham territory in the buckle of the Bible Belt. And for those of you who don't know, Southern Baptist is a evangelical conservative denomination of the Christian faith. So,
Yay.
all right, Shawn. Hey, you want to tell them what we're talking about today?
Today's topic is near and dear to both of our hearts.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, not at all.
No, never.
We're discussing a very high-minded, artful conversation. Like
Back in your day, right? That's facts. That's also, I know. It's okay. You know what? I'll embrace it. I look good for my age. I'm at that point. I look good for my age, and you know what? I'll freaking take it.
Right. All right. So today is a high-minded, artful discussion.
Fucking shit.
We're discussing the art of controlled chaos. Bum bum bum.
Welcome. This one is not religious slant today. We are not doing a religious trauma based, though some of our trauma is based in the religious aspect of how we got here, but
it's not so heavily featured.
My favorite is what they are telling us to say. Do you see it?
Oh, which part?
So, Shawn, you plan your chaos, right? Meanwhile, I just let it happen and hope for the best.
Yep. Hey! Listen, just because I overplay my chaos doesn't mean it's not chaotic. It's just structured.
It's a structured destruction. Structured destruction. That's my favorite.
It's like my Legos. It's structured.
Oh, is it like your Lego building too slow and you keep missing pieces, so you gotta undo it?
Yes, it is exactly like that.
Okay.
I make a mistake and I gotta go back.
Okay, just making sure.
Your point.
So we're talking about chaos because my week has been beyond chaotic. And it has been a test in all of my fucking therapy skills. All of them. Every single one. Shifty, I didn't even know you were in here. You slid right in here, all quietly like a ninja.
Hey, Shifty.
This is the episode that we're having today.
Oh. This morning, this is the perfect morning for this episode because this morning has been
chaotic. I mean, we're only starting 20 minutes late. It's fine. But my nails look pretty.
They do look pretty. I mean, that's what matters.
So
what is chaos? What is chaos? What does controlled chaos mean to you?
Oh fuck. My entire childhood, my life up until like 2 years ago. Oh wait, actually my life up until yesterday. Like I think like for me controlled chaos is just it really is. It's been my life growing up. Everything was chaotic and it was just trying to maintain the chaos. It's living within, it's not like it's living within the chaos. It's like everything was unpredictable. Nothing was ever like emotionally, mentally, like just even whatever happened. It was just chaotic. And it was just living in the chaos and learning how to control it, like learning how to navigate within it. That's for me, controlled chaos. It's just like things run amok. And as long as they're not like the world isn't burning, we're okay. That's pretty much my definition. So it's fine.
my definition of chaos shows exactly where my head is at when it comes to this topic. For me, chaos is anything that is not perfectly planned out.
Not in your 5-point plan.
Not in my 5-point plan. That is, yes, not in my outline. That is chaos. Is as soon as you step out of that, that is chaos for me.
Oh yeah, I know. Because it is my favorite to go
poke. Here's your outline. I see your outline and give you chaos. Poke.
Give you outline and I start making notes.
But that is, my life has been where yours has been chaos. Mine has been structure. The adage, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That has been my life. Like that's what I grew up hearing and believing, is that I have to plan. I have to everything has to be structured.
Yeah, but your marriage was like that too. Like your marriage supported that as well. Like, didn't it?
My whole life did. Yeah. Well, that's how I approached it. Yes, is everything was structured, and I needed to know everything that happened. I needed to know when it was going to happen, how it was going to happen. For me, for everybody else, I didn't care, but for me, I needed to know that stuff. I needed my stuff to be structured. I needed to have my plan, and when when there was deviation from that plan, I did not respond well.
Yeah, but like my life was this weird mix of, my life was chaos, like just trauma after shit after emotional dysregulation at the house. But the outward appearance was everything had to be settled and calm and put together. It was the duck. Yeah, exactly like that. So it was the epitome of controlled chaos. It was that. And I remember one time telling my mom, I'm like, Mom, I just wish, because, you know, after I just wish our life was normal. I just wish it was just not, because there was always something happening. And I didn't realize that half the time it was, you know, anyway, self-perpetuated. But that's beside the point. I would tell her, I was like, I wish our lives were normal. And she just would like, well, we don't do normal. Normal would be boring to us. Little did I know, that's fucking gaslighting. Actually, normal is, I am just fine with normal. I am just fine with calm. I am just fine with it. Can I handle motherfucking chaos? Yes, I can, but I don't want to. But that was just my life growing up. is chaos. So I learn how to function in it. So like now I call it the trauma brain, or the triage brain. It's when shit hits the fan, my whole world, my brain, my thinking, my emotional being, everything calms down and I'm laser focused. So the crazier situation I'm in, the more focused I am.
This makes you good at triage.
It does, and problem solving. However, Shawn, how are you when shit hits the fan? How's that work out for you?
When it hits the fan and chaos begins raining, I begin falling apart. I want to think. I'd like to think that I'm great in chaos. I'm great in a pinch. Like whenever.
But you cute though.
I'm not. I am so not. I become frazzled and like. It's bad. I become part of the problem if I'm not careful.
I mean, that's also facts. I mean, we love you, Shawn, but I would not choose you in a zombie apocalypse. I'm going to be quite honest.
No, I'm not. No. I'm the one you keep around because at some point you're going to need to sacrifice me. So
we'll save you to the last minute. We promise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've already discussed it. It's fine.
We have
people above you. We have people. Yeah, we have people above you.
Okay. Yes. Chaos. I do not really thrive in chaos. And even I try to. When chaos occurs, my brain just will start to swirl and like it just freaks out.
No.
So, yeah. I know, crazy, right?
Stop it.
And I expend so much energy to prevent that from happening. That's why
Really?
Yeah, really. Yeah, so that's what I do. It's exhausting. Planning everything to avoid any possible chaos.
Yeah. I don't know. I tried. I did try to be that person for a long time. It did not work. It did not work out well for me. Did not. Because like you said, anytime like it'd step out of the plan, like, motherfucker, what's happening? Like, I would fall apart. I would absolutely fall apart. So we're going to actually approach this chaos theory, this controlled chaos, how we handle chaos in our lives, through the eyes of being gamers, like being gamers. And this is a nice different approach for us. Like, I think after this week, I really just need something fun to talk about, even though it's like, but I cry in the past week. I've cried at least 3 times every day. And I have averaged per night 3 hours of sleep for 3 hours every night. So it's fine.
I do not know how you do it. Yeah. So
caffeine and sheer force of will and a little bit of spite. So it's fine.
I will get through this out of spite.
Yeah. This is not going to be the thing that's going to bring me down.
There you go. That's hey, whatever you got to do to get through it.
Okay, well, what is the most chaotic decision you've ever made that actually worked out?
That's hard. That's difficult for me because like my world has been avoid chaos. So to make a chaotic decision is like that's because even when it comes, if I know something's going to happen, I plan for it. I plan for chaos. I plan for not knowing what's going on, but I have a plan for that. So even then, it's not entirely chaotic.
I think I have to be the most chaotic decision. Well, there are 2 things. Actually, going out on a date with anyone, really.
Okay.
Well, going out on a date with Searugs, like. Mm-hmm. He was like, I knew him from Adam, but I was just like, yeah, fuck it. Why not? And then 2, forming Team AoA. That was
Yes.
honestly, if you think about it, that was the most
chaotic.
that was the whole thing surrounding all of that. Like just everything that led up to that was just this cesspool of drama and chaos. And finally, we were just like, okay, fine. You know what?
We
We got to do this for us. Like,
when we would talk about when we think about chaos, there was that was
oh,
a big one.
and dyeing my hair red. Dyeing my hair red. That was very much like I was removing the hair dye to re-dye it dark, and then I went, what if let's see what happens a year later.
Sure, why not? Yeah. I don't I have a problem. One of the difficulty I have with chaos is like embracing the chaos and just doing it. Is I have just intense fear of failure. And yeah, and this fear of how people will perceive me. And so for me, it's like I have struggled to embrace chaos because chaos means who knows what'll happen. And if I don't know what's gonna happen, I might fail. See, I don't see chaos as just okay, just go with it. No, there's a success and a failure. So it's really hard for me to just go, you know what, I'll just do it. Just do it. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna skip over some of this stuff because
Because
like, okay, I had no plan, just vibes, and somehow it just worked until it didn't.
I like that. Yeah, you're just vibes. Just vibes. Mm-hmm.
And then I followed a structured, logical plan, and it still went to hell. I'm like, that's all our shit. That's all our shit. So I mean, it's fine. Like, we'd be here all day just talking about that shit.
There's someone that said a plan never survives implementation. A plan never survives beyond step one.
Yeah.
You start the plan and then it falls apart.
Yeah.
What?
How are those plans working out for you?
But I still do it. So here's my takeaway from that. My takeaway from plan never survives step one is to not just go, oh, you know what, whatever happens. I'll just go with the flow. No, that's not how I take it. The way I handle it never survives step one is I plan 50 steps around it. Well, if this fails, then I'll do this. And if this doesn't work, then I'll go this way and this way. And it becomes this massive web of if, then, else, when. Bleh.
Yeah, you still suck at coding. That's fine.
It's like, yes. See, there you go.
Oh, that just seems like life in general. You right, Shifty. You right.
Yep.
Ask Shawn and Jay how many times I sent them to the grocery store for Thanksgiving. And I had a list with ingredients and they were hung up. It was like, and they still went to the store like 8 times.
There's the chaos. Cooking.
Oh, God.
Holiday cooking is chaos.
I mean, you're not wrong.
It's miserable, and we do it every single time.
Hey, y'all ate well, actually. So shut your mouth.
Absolutely, very well.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's fun chaos. But like, though, like, I think it's one of those, like, we've become very apathetic to chaos. I know for myself, just because I grew up in that atmosphere. That is my default state, as my therapist would say. That was my default state, is that it's chaotic and I just have to survive in the chaos, which is why when things are very calm and everything works out, everything is planned, like when everything goes as it should, I get unsettled because I grew up. That is my life. That is my default. My default is shit's gonna hit the fan. Plan for the, hope for the best, plan for the worst, deal with what comes. That's the mindset of somebody who grew up in a constant state of chaos. And it's very destructive. It is really destructive because it doesn't allow you to be calm. It doesn't allow you to be settled. It doesn't allow you to feel safe, because nothing's ever safe. Because the moment that you are calm or in a non-chaotic state, you instantly, your brain instantly goes, something's shit's about to hit the pan. Something fucking is gonna fucking go wrong.
Yeah, when chaos is normal, calm feels unsettling. Yeah, I can see that. For me, the uncomfortable is not having everything planned. For me, it's like having loose strings is uncomfortable.
Hey,
Oh,
Eric.
hey, Eric. Happy Sunday.
Welcome to the chaos.
Welcome
to the Thunderdome.
It's for me, there's anxiety behind not having everything planned, having loose ends, but also there's always the potential that something will go wrong. That the plan, and by wrong I mean it doesn't adhere to the plan. And so there's this constant anxiety of what am I gonna do if the plan goes off the rails?
Hi, Nerdy Will.
Hey, Nerdy Will. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think on both of our ends. I mean, we alluded to that earlier. And it was like, it just causes us to live in that strict, like for you, that strict black and white structure of a plan. And for me, that constant state of planning, because I'm still planning for the chaos. I'm still functioning within the chaos. It's like, whereas in like you, step by step, everything's a step. Mine is, I'm just grasping at whatever whatever solution is coming my way. I'm constantly in defense and attack mode. And it's never, okay, we're going to do this like following. No, I'm constantly in, attack, dodge and weave, and it's exhausting. I think on both ends, trying to follow that structure of A plus B plus C. And then for me, it's like, I can never get out of that fight or flight mode. It does burn you out after a while, even though it is your natural state. Like, I don't know about you, but now I can recognize it, but like you push yourself and push yourself and push yourself in that state of chaos till like you completely crash. And then for me, before I got a somewhat handle on it, I used to go through like massive depressive episodes because I had crashed so hard in that. I don't know about you. I don't know how like you handle yours, but that was me. I would go so much in the chaos. It was just like all of a sudden it would just be like, it was just like I slammed into a wall.
Mine was just a lot of anxiety. Yeah, the word depressive bout sometimes, but it was anxiety and helplessness. That's what sometimes would lead to a depression, is this feeling of like, if I can't control everything, then that's a flaw. If I'm unable to make these things happen and control and keep all these plates in the air and all the structure, I've failed, and nobody's gonna want, and I'm gonna look bad.
Okay, this is a random question. Do you think that that's why it made you? I mean, let's be real honest. It made you emotionally manipulative.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Mm-hmm.
To maintain that control, and I think that that's where for me it actually, I was like the chaos in that. Mm-hmm. It might be. Hold on.
Mine might be much louder. It tends to be.
I think it might be mine.
Okay.
Oh, I turned Shawn's down last week on Streamlabs, and now I turned it down, and so that's probably it. So here you go.
Okay.
There you go. I turned you up. We're more equal now. There you go. You're welcome.
We're equal. Oh, thanks. Pep Squatter, yeah.
Yeah, I turned him down because he was like shouting last week in my ear. I was like,
I struggle to control the volume of my voice.
What? You're ADD and you can struggle to maintain like a quiet thing? Is this better? Can y'all hear him better?
Can you hear me now? How about now? Is now good? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Am I audible?
Okay, all right. Thanks for letting us know.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, I had turned him down in Streamlabs and then last week, but this week I turned him down in Guest Star, and I forgot to turn him up in Streamlabs. So it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I think for me it was one of those. I just, like I said before, and it caused me to be distrustful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's just one of those. If somebody was calm, I was like, it's just about to hit me. Like, I didn't trust anything. I never got out of fight or flight.
Were you always waiting for? You're always waiting for the shoe to drop.
Oh yeah. And I never trusted anybody's help. I didn't trust what anybody said. I didn't trust it. And it's because I was responsible for the emotional regulation of the family. And, I was the black sheep. So everything was my problem. So since everything was my fault, I was always just anticipating when shit went wrong, it was my fault. So I had to fix it. And that's where that always went. Like, it was just always predict the unpredictable. Like, it was never... Nothing ever went to plan. Ever.
I was waiting for the same thing. What's interesting is because we're coming at this from two sides. For you, chaos is normal. For me, too much structure is normal. But I was always waiting for the shoe to drop as well. But for me, it was what have I not planned for? What have I not accounted for? I'm always waiting for the shoe to drop. If everything's working out the way it's supposed to, I'm like, okay, something's gonna go wrong.
But did it also, the chaos, did it, like you planning for the chaos and me like anticipating it, did it always worst case scenario? Everything was like that's where your negative thinking went?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That overthinking, that thinking never went to a positive place.
No.
You'd say overthinking is a superpower. And overthinking is trauma because it's
Exactly.
It is, yeah. Because it never goes to a like, oh, everything's gonna work out great.
Everything is awesome.
Yeah, it never happens. It always goes worst case, and I could be sitting there and go, oh, I didn't realize something. Oh, there's something else that could happen, and then I'm like, then I got to plan for that.
But then do you create the chaos? I know for me, then
Yes.
I create the chaos, which is self-sabotaging.
No, I think for me it's the emotional manipulation that you mentioned before. For me, things have to go according to my plan. Because apparently I know best. So it has to go according to my plan. Being very sarcastic. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
My emotional support classes.
And how did that work out for you? Yeah. So that was the emotional manipulation occurred because if I saw something potentially coming off the rails, if I saw some part of this plan coming undone, I needed to get it back on track. I needed to get it back on the rails. It didn't matter what that looked like. It needed to happen. And so I would then manipulate people into trying to get that to happen. Or make them feel so bad that it did happen that next time it's less likely to happen.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That was very unhealthy. That is not.
Stop it.
No. Yeah.
Chaos is it's one of those things. Life is chaotic. Life is unplanned. Let's just make that very, very clear. Like, you can't predict. Like, it's not all chaos. And I think that Shawn and I have this unique perspective, like we've been explaining, is that he tries to plan everything and he's very structured, and for me everything was chaos. Everything, like, it was, even the quiet moments were chaotic. So it was one of those, coming at it from different angles is like two sides of the same coin, and not everything, it's not black or white. It's not all or nothing. Life is unpredictable, and life is going to provide that the term's chaotic neutral. Oh, okay. So chaotic neutral is a D&D like character development term. It's so I don't even know if I can find it. Like there's like how you it's a character. I'll look it up while Shawn explains controlled. Why don't you explain controlled chaos while I look up the character types for it?
Controlled chaos is I think of it as the duck. It is the things look well, actually, in this case it would kind of be the opposite of the duck. So for me, controlled chaos is where it may look chaotic, but it is heavily controlled on the underneath it. That chaos looks chaotic, that behavior looks chaotic, the events, whatever, but they've been planned that way, they've been engineered that way. That's actually something that we talked a lot about a couple years ago before when we started Team AoA. Is what did there was a whole thing, and we talked about chaos, and I was like, chaos for chaos sake is not what I don't think we should be doing. We should be focused more on controlled chaos. So we know things are going to happen, but we exert a certain amount of control over that. It's kind of that middle ground between fully chaotic and fully controlled. Yeah.
I actually found a really good one, but my computer is freezing up a little bit. So
What?
because, yeah, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here I got it.
Oh,
It's fine. No, go ahead. Keep talking.
oh no! I was
This is your
just
show
gonna,
too. This is your show too.
yeah. When stuff doesn't go to plan, you just roll with it and try. Yeah, you, but you are aware of that. You don't. You're aware of the chaos that can ensue, that will ensue. You find it?
I found one. You can go on to
Okay.
start talking about the next one.
Oh, which next one? Which one are we talking about? The
Oh my God, Shawn! Well, see,
I
and
don't.
this
Where are you
this
at?
would be
Where
this
you
would
at?
be. Oh my God!
The perfect chaos.
No, we're after
No?
we're like gaming and role playing. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
the perfect chaos.
Oh yeah. Okay. It's fine. Shut up.
So what's fun about the way that Anna and I approach, we do gaming.
Oh.
It is this whole
Which is,
chaos.
here's the thing: is that how we handle life is exactly opposite of how we handle our gaming, and it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh my god, it is so well. Not always. I've actually had to let go of a lot of that. When I first started playing, do you remember? You remember when I first started gaming with the BSBN? Do you remember how structured I was?
Yes.
You remember the yeah. Okay, I have trauma when it comes to gaming. For anyone that doesn't know, I have trauma related to gaming with other people. And so
Here, I found
for
it.
me, gaming was very structured. Because I came in my adult years of gaming, I came up through WoW, through World of Warcraft, and the raid system. I was playing WoW when it was 40-man raids. Everything was highly structured. And you had to meet a certain standard, a certain expectation. So I learned, my gaming became very structured and merit based. You were good enough or you weren't good enough.
Speaking of gaming, the new Megs. I know. I'm terrified. I'm actually very terrified to open up Sea of Thieves. No, with the new
Let's
update.
do
I'm
it.
like, oh.
We should do that. Sea of Thieves is a terrific way to see the craziness that is our gaming.
Listen. Sea of Thieves.
So-
I am the captain. I am always the captain. And fucking Shawn, here's like Jay and I have got like this militaristic like way. Like we have a way of game. There's Shawn. I'm like, Shawn, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just gathering things from the barrels. I'm like, we're fucking dying over here. You want to come help us? So we're finding what are we doing, guys?
Okay.
I don't know. We're on a quest. We're on a quest. We literally when was the last time you opened up your quest board, Shawn? I was like, oh, I forgot how to do that.
Well, how do you, I mean, but you know what changed my gaming? It's kind of your fault. I say that in a very
Dig yourself out of this one, Shawn. Dig yourself out of this one. Okay, go ahead.
The reason my gaming was so structured is because I needed to win. I needed to prove myself. So winning for me, winning was everything. When I gamed to win.
Oh yeah. Oh, and he still does. He still does. Let's be real honest. He still does.
Not nearly as bad. There's still some of it. But when that changed was when we had a hard conversation about it, because it was problematic. It was very problematic.
Very toxic. Very.
Yeah, it was very
toxic.
And and we had a conversation, and you told me, it's like, winning is great and all, but winning isn't the goal. When you're gaming, winning shouldn't be your goal. Enjoying the game, playing, having fun, hanging out with people. The journey is the goal. Having fun in the journey. The winning is icing on the cake if it happens, but if it doesn't, it doesn't matter because you had fun along the way. That's what I mean by it was your fault.
But here's the thing. Here's where it went. Here's where our two opposite, like, we sort of switched, was Fallout. Was when we started playing Fallout together. And it was very much, that's when we just went, like, I don't know, somehow we just went.
We switched.
We absolutely switched. And it was one of those, I was playing Fallout and it was like, no, I've got a plan and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Okay, we got this and we're going to follow this and we're going to do this. And Shawn's like, I'm going to shoot everything. And we're like, God damn it, Shawn, get out of my way.
Redo it. Squirrel. Radioactive squirrel.
The Leroy Jenkins of our Fallout crew. Oh my God.
Where did... you and Jay are going about doing the thing that needs to be done. And you're like, where did Shawn go? I'm somewhere.
Yeah, but remember when we first started gaming, though, it was very much the opposite of that, too. It was like, where did the Rooks go? I'm like,
you're right. You were... It was. I embraced the ADHD of gaming, and I just was like, you know what? I'm just going to do whatever. I'm going to have fun.
Yeah. And I think gaming is a great outlet. No, even whether it be tabletop, a D&D type that are, or online gaming or whatever PC game, whatever gaming console you do, like video gamings. Like, I think that is a great outlet for anyone, just in no matter what you're doing, to, like with Shawn, to just do the shit. Just to do, and for me, it's one of those, like, yes, I don't like, but I can let down my guard a little bit in that, like, I regardless of what happened, I'm going to respawn somewhere. Like it, and so it's not as life or death in my head. Like, my nervous system doesn't go, I'm constantly in that edge. It's just like, let's just have some fun. I'm able to relax. And no matter what chaos happens, I know that I'm safe. And I think that that's where the difference is that for both you and I, our approach to the chaos, like your need for structure and my constant
shifty. I tried years ago. I tried.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't.
Okay.
Don't want to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the chaos was the way that it's a trauma response, and we didn't feel safe, and the best viewers. Sweet.
Speechless Ranch. Is that like Hidden Valley Ranch, or is that like some other type of?
I don't know.
You got it?
No, you got it.
I get it. I got it. All right. Good.
But it's one of those, we didn't feel safe. It's about safety and how we approach, which is why I go into triage mode, this is not safe. So the only way to keep myself safe is I've got to focus in when everything is going on. I've got to focus in because this is how I'm going to navigate it. And with Shawn's, his like, okay, I'm going to anticipate the chaos because that's what's going to keep me safe. So I knew that chaos was just an inevitable part of my life, but this was how I was going to survive it. Whereas in Shawn's way of survival is I'm going to do everything I can to prevent the chaos. And so that it was both are the same, but gaming in that aspect we're able to get outside of that and enable for us to like handle chaos in a fun way, to actually approach it in like chaos. It's not going to hurt us. It could get frustrating. We can rage
Yeah.
quit. But
We can. It's safe. It's safer for us to do it in the gaming world than it is to do it in real life. So it allows us that outlet.
yeah.
It allows an outlet for me to be chaotic and stupid and silly, and I'm still safe. It's in the game. Um, and that's helpful. To learn to kind of embrace whatever. Just have fun. Just have fun with it. Instead of being so focused on achieving and winning, just to play for the sake of playing and having fun.
Okay, I love these questions in this section. It's my favorite right now.
Yeah.
Would our gaming characters survive if we played them like we live our lives?
Uh
It depends on what character. If I'm playing the dragon, my ass is always surviving.
well, yeah. But your dragon is much more structurally based than the bards are the chaos in like if we're talking
Yes.
3 bards.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if they
And you're like, oh, no, guys, this is what we're gonna do. This needs to happen. Why is my ballroom in shambles?
I just asked you to unpack my boxes. Yeah, I just asked you to take them upstairs and unpack them. But
We did, sort of.
I honestly, I don't, though my Fallout character and my Sea of Thieves characters, my online gaming, my RPG, like my tabletop game characters are so structured. Like you said, like the dragon is chaos, but in that like controlled chaos. Y'all are just like evil chaos. Y'all are just all, I don't know what y'all have, but y'all got something special. But in gaming,
Yeah.
it's different. It's very different. I think Jay actually gets irritated. Like Sea of Thieves is like, don't get mad at me if I do pirate shit. Like but like in the end, like Jay's like has a route in Fallout. Like he has his route he knows
does.
the route. He
Jay,
knows like
Jay, you
very
are
much that
structured
guy.
when it comes to Fallout.
He's very structured.
You are determined. This is what I'm going to do. This is how it's going to happen. This is how I'm going to get the loot. I'm going to get all of the recipes and all the plans. You know exactly what needs to happen. Like, it amazes me whenever I'm like, okay, we need to go get so and so. I need to get teddy bears. Okay, you're going to go here, 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 and here.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Goal-based structured, right? It's very much that. Half the time Jay's like, well, I'll log in together. He's like, okay. He's like, we're gonna go here, and Shawn and I are just like, it depends on who we're gaming with, I guess, like how we act.
Yeah,
it really does.
Like, have you? Yeah, you guys are like, have you done this? What? Have you done this mission? Missions? What? We have missions? Nah, I'm just running around the wastelands.
It honestly, it depends on our. I think about all of our characters would survive. I think they all, if we lived like them.
Yeah,
I think Shawn's life would be a little bit more interesting. He would touch grass more.
Well, in the wasteland, there's not a lot of it.
Not true. We have to collect plants all the fucking time.
I get burned out on dailies and grinding and like rep grinding and
which
daily
is
grinding
weird
and all
because you are a plan-based guy.
But that's because I used to be that way. That's what I did. I logged into every game, every character, grinded the thing. And I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, I'm just tired of that. I just want to... That's what my regular life is, grinding. I don't need my gaming life to also be grinding.
My regular life were grinding.
Wait, that's a different podcast. Different podcast.
Yeah. I just think gaming is that outlet. I think when I discovered, I was a late bloomer in that, in the gaming world. I mean, I gamed like, NES, the OG, and Myst. Do you remember Myst?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Not the farming the same shit until RNGesus smiles on me. You right,
God,
Shifty.
yeah. Farming. Oh, putting things. Yeah, farming stuff. Lord.
But also think about that, and it's very
Mhm.
much like it's how we handle the chaos and our why we game. A lot of people game to escape, and I've actually talked about this with my therapist. Is gaming is actually they've had done studies where gaming is actually very good for people with trauma, for people with because you're the dexterity and the focus and what depending on what you're gaming or what your trauma is, it's like
Mhm.
you are escaping yourself, you're pulling yourself out of whatever it is that's in your head. And
Mhm.
I think that's like the whole approach to gaming on that. Some people, like your ex, enjoyed the farming, enjoyed the structure because in their head it was like the thoughts and the feelings and they couldn't control
Mhm.
that. And
Mhm.
so, the
Mhm.
medication wasn't working or whatever, their techniques weren't working or whatever that was. And so 7 days, I want to kill.
Yeah. No, I got you, Jay. Yeah. I,
But
mhm. But you're
it's one of
absolutely right. Mhm.
yeah, it's one of those, but she liked the structure. She liked the grind because the grind at the end
Mhm.
of the grind there was rewards, right? And it was
Yes.
very whereas in, you know, it's very different for other people. Like some people aren't allowed to be aggressive in their life. So they, sometimes they play COD, Call of Duty
Mhm.
or those games where it's just like I just want to slash and hack. Sometimes and it depends for me. Sometimes I just
Yeah.
want to go into like GTA and I'm like I just want to shoot. I just want to drive aggressively and shoot things like, And then there are days
Yeah.
where it's like I want to be goofy, so I'll go out and I'll go into Fallout and I'll do the things, or it depends on that. But it really does. That's how you handle it. It says people's gaming preferences. This is a hell of a lot about how they handle problems and how they
Mhm.
approach life. A whole lot.
Mhm. I think you're right because who you are can really come out in the game. Whereas in life, we tend to be very pigeonholed or focused or like what people expect or like we have to fit into this a box. Whereas in gaming, we can just be the who we want to be, and we can change that. We can like change the characters, and we can make it exactly what we want to be, regardless of what anybody else thinks. We can
Hmm.
develop and look a certain way, and we can develop a certain way. We can build. We can do all these things that we can't do in real life. So I think you're absolutely right. Who we are in game reflects more about who we are as a person
Hmm.
because
Absolutely.
we're allowed to be who we want to be and
And the
take on
chaos.
whatever.
And again, the chaos is safe. The goals, the
Yes.
objectives are the same. They are
Hmm.
safe. It's in this bubble of safety, whether it be a 20-year, D&D campaign or like,
Yeah.
a 20-minute, Fallout mission, like okay, I'm just going to run this mission or whatever.
Hmm.
It's still safe because at the end of the day, you can get up no matter what. You could die 3 times and you still can get up and it's done. Like there's nothing detrimental to you as a person, and I
Yeah.
think that there's some safety in that.
I think that's why I can't. I tried to be a hardcore gamer at one point, and I think that's why I can't be a hardcore gamer is because I approach my gaming. Yes, even though I want to accomplish certain goals, but I'm still casual about it. And the difference is so like my ex got into gaming and became hardcore. She became a min maxer. She figured out exactly min maxing is when you figure out exactly what stats you need, what abilities you need, everything. Um, and for me, it was like I just want to get in and get out. I want to log in. I want to play a little bit, and then I want to walk away. And it doesn't matter how long I walk away. I can come back. Whereas if you're like in certain games you can't do that or in certain play styles you can't walk away. Um my regular life is so one way. I don't want my gaming life to be my regular life. So I tend to be that and maybe that's why I've embraced the chaos more now in my gaming life is I'm like I've broken away and realized I can do this goofy, ridiculous thing and just have fun with it, and nobody gets hurt.
Losing
Did you?
yourself in a game would ruin your set routine, which is hard because you like order.
Mhm. Yeah, people. Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. What you said about my ex is that so much of her life growing up was very much chaos. And so I think she would farm mats for like 5-6 hours straight. Um, and I think that control is what she was seeking. So
Chaos
maybe
is
there's a
inevitable. Chaos is
what?
inevitable, though.
Oh, it is.
Chaos is inevitable.
Mhm.
What were you gonna say,
It.
Shawn?
I was gonna say maybe there's everything we described, everything we just a lot of what we just described fits in another category. There's an and I was like, maybe that's the reason there's a whole lot of overlap between gaming and kink. Right? Because
Fact.
yeah, both of them give you an outlet that you don't have in real life.
Also facts, but that's another podcast.
That is another podcast. Yeah.
Maybe we will talk kinks. Maybe we will start every day adults only one day.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Okay, which one of us is better at handling chaos, and which one of us is more likely to create it?
In real life?
Yes.
In real life, you're much better handling chaos. I suck at handling chaos.
You create it. You create it as much as you plan and shit. You create the chaos because you're trying to follow the plan. And I'm over here like, okay, just like anything. All right, what's happening? Okay, we need to do this. What's common sense? Okay, all right, that didn't work. We're going to pivot this way. And Shawn's like, no, we need to follow the plan. I'm like, what the fuck, Shawn?
I mean, look at our very first argument, our big argument after the reboot. Plans. I was adamant. You gotta have a plan.
Y'all, we had a 2.5 hour fight, and I don't mean like a disagreement. I mean, we were screaming at each other about plans versus goals, and it was 2.5 hours of us screaming at each other.
Oh, it was brutal. Yeah. This is
a set routine is probably what would make you uncomfortable. Actually, no. In that, I have adapted to my chaos, and that is how I adapted in my chaos.
someone's at my door. Hold on.
I see that. So I've adapted to the chaos in that because I now am I recognize my neurodivergency. When the chaos gets to be too much, I have to stop, and I'm like, okay, here's the structure. I make a list. Okay, so that even though the chaos is still happening, it's still the same. I still have to structure it. I did adapt. I adapted, and it's survival, and it's and that's how I handle it. Is even I make the lists. You should see my list from work this past week. It was like 2 pages worth of just lists, but how I was like crossing them off the list, and then I would reprioritize, and it was all like it looks like chaos, but it's structured, and so yeah, it's like literally herding kittens. That's how I'm able to do it so well when I'm like hosting, like I hosted the BSBN or I'm hosting Team AoA. I know how to herd kittens, and I know how to redirect the chaos because that's the way my brain is. My brain is so chaotic that I've learned how to do it. And yeah.
When I hit chaos, our reaction to chaos is different. Like when I hit chaos or chaos hits me, it is all over here. It is completely obvious to pretty much everyone that, oh my god, I am lost. I am
Shawn freezes.
freaking out. I do.
Shawn freezes.
Yeah. I get the kind of this deer in the headlight, like yeah, and I go quiet because I'm like everything begins trying to spin. Everything begins spinning really heavily in my head, but it's like it's the cartoon running. It's not like spinning as in like things are getting produced and things are happening. It's the cartoon character spinning their legs and just not going anywhere. There's a lot spinning, but nothing's really happening.
And I'm the exact opposite. Like it's like when things are calm and things are going to plan, that's when I literally back off. That's when I'm like, y'all handle it. You got it. There's like because I'm not like again, I thrive in the chaos. I grew up and was raised in the chaos. So when things get chaotic, I instantly that's when my brain goes, oh, I know what to do here. Whereas in Shawn's goes, oh shit, it's yeah.
Because part of what I freeze, part of why I freeze is instead of working the problem, like you go into triage mode. I admire that your ability to do that. I don't. I catastrophize. Yours goes into a like tight. I go wide and worse, and like how can this become so much worse than it already is? This is going to become this, and I freeze in the catastrophizing.
But the thing is, though, Shawn, I also catastrophize at the same time. I just
Yeah.
approach it differently. Because I am anticipating again because I grew up in that state of fight or flight, in that state of fight constantly. I understand that when shit hits the fan, my brain sees all of the things that can go wrong, and my brain is because of my trauma and my coping mechanism. My brain goes, okay, what's the best course of action to avoid all of this? And then that's how I'm able to navigate my way through it, because I am thinking and catastrophizing worst case scenario. How can I prevent this? But instead of freezing and just going the overwhelming thought of
That's it.
the worst part of it, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's overwhelming. How can I prevent it? And so that's, I lived in that. That's how I survived. That's how I survived. Yeah. Because I have ADHD and autism, I'm impulsive one moment, rigid the other, a bit of living contradiction. Actually, that's in our sheet. I think it's talk about.
Yep.
Yay. So yeah, okay. This one's a good one. What is our go-to strategy for pulling ourselves out of an absolute mess in the chaos? And I sort of told mine. I sort of take a minute and I list it out. Even though probably my approach to it is going to look chaotic, I list it out. Okay, where are my goals? My goals. How I get them done is regardless. I don't plan it out. I just here are my big goals. And then I try and just hit them whichever way I can. Yeah.
I have to try to ground myself because I become so dysregulated and frozen in that state. Before I can do anything, it's important for me to pull myself out of that for the moment. Pull myself out of that. So I've got to do something to ground. And then I try to go into a work the problem, and try to become be flexible. It is still not easy for me to handle chaos. Yeah, my body doesn't respond well to it. My brain doesn't respond well to it. So it's still a struggle for me.
Is it?
It's still very much a struggle for me. Yeah.
Okay. So actually we're talking about that. We've sort of touched on it, is how trauma, ADHD, and CPTSD, which is a repeated long-term PTSD that a lot of abuse victims go through. Hi. So
Hey,
Hi.
Anton.
Make chaos a default setting and why that can be dangerous. And why it can be dangerous in that, and I can tell you for my experience, again, you're always in that fight. Everything is dangerous. Nothing is safe. So you're constantly drained. You're not ever. I clean up my home.
Oh, yeah.
And those are good strategies. Like
Yeah.
those are good. I journal all the time. That's when chaos in my brain, my thoughts are chaotic. I just write it out because no one's going to judge you in your journal. I'm not reading it to anyone.
I'm gonna have to stop you right there. You you said no. You said no one judges you in your journal,
Yeah.
which is great. No one. You're right. No one judges you in your journal. You know who judges me in my journal? You're looking at him.
Jesus Christ.
My every
Oh
one of my
God.
therapists has said, "Have you thought about journaling? Do you journal? That's something you might want to look. You might want to consider journaling." Every single one of my therapists, and I've had a bunch of therapists for different reasons. Um,
I wouldn't say that as a point of pride, Shawn.
I mean, it's not a point of pride. I was just like
Jesus
trying to.
Christ.
Anyway, my therapist have bring it up. Um, but I've avoided it for so long. I avoid journaling because I'm afraid of what I'll uncover, the chaos that I will find, and the judgment I will have for the judgment I'll have for it and for myself when journaling. I'm
Revolving
afraid
door
of being
patient.
real.
Some of them weren't his faults. Some of them weren't his faults. A couple of them were
Yeah.
not his fault. Like that was not on him.
Yeah. Um yeah.
uh, I mean, it journaling actually for me it is when that chaos when my I think for me because also with the CPTSD and the BPD and all of the emotions that are so overwhelming and the emotions and thoughts, the destructive thoughts that become this chaotic thing in my brain. And especially when I started doing my trauma work, because I was no longer, I was just allowing myself to feel and to think the thoughts. That was the only way to manage the chaos in my head. And it's just right. I don't even read them. Like I don't write them and I don't go back and read them. I literally just turn the next page and I don't throw them away because I mean, I still have paper, but I don't. I usually clip them so I don't read them again. For me, it's one of those. I am just that is how it's like a pressure cooker. The chaos is maintaining that pressure, and the journaling is like, okay, I'm going to release the release valve, and that's how I control the thoughts and the chaotic thoughts in my head. And then I don't, it doesn't matter about structure, it doesn't matter about spelling, sentence. I don't give a shit about any of that. Just write. And when I'm done, just turn it over. And I think that's how I handle it. I think journaling is great. It's actually been probably a source because I don't judge myself. I don't allow myself to judge myself. I don't care. It's like, so
Journaling is really beneficial. I have done it. I have done it several times. I have forced myself to sit down and journal. I type it. I type out my journaling. I don't write it out. But every time I've done it, it works. And it has been beneficial. So I'm not saying journaling doesn't work for me. Journaling does work for me. But at the same time, I've got this fear of like, what am I going to find when I do it? What am I going to uncover? And every time I have uncovered something, like, oh, yeah, it starts to come out. So it does work. But yeah.
oh, that's the fucking point.
I know that's the point. There's a reason that every one of my therapists has said you should journal.
I think like with the whole like ADHD, like the neurodivergency, and I'm not on the spectrum, but I definitely have ADHD, and it's one of those. It does because the traits, doom drawers, cleaning.
You ain't gotta call me out like that. Us out.
Listen, I have doom bags. I don't have drawers. I have bags. Like I have stuff. I have bags and bags. Like and that's also a controlled chaos. Whereas in somebody who isn't neurodivergent or has a different type of fearing their thoughts that much. Oh, Eric, I forgot that you haven't been around that long. Oh, you should go back on YouTube and see some of Shawn's earlier shit. Talking about fearing your feelings or thoughts.
The first year. Yeah.
Oh no, this thing doing exactly what it's supposed to do. What the fuck is that thing? Yes, and I can hear that in Jay's voice. I can totally hear that calling Shawn out to the carpet. But with neurodivergency, and the different outlets of the neurodivergency, and it is our brain, and it from the outside looking in, it does look chaotic. Organized chaos, and we live in that state. We know where everything is. We know what pile, where we know the pile, or we know the doom drawer that is located. Will it take us a minute to find it? Yes, but it looks like chaos, and it frustrates a lot of people who are very A-type, who aren't neurodivergent, who don't understand that, and that's okay, because they handle their routine and their chaos differently. But I think that's also in part where we need to be a little kinder to ourselves, especially when we're learning to strategies on how to deal with our neurodivergencies. We're learning strategies on dealing with our traumas. What is a trauma response versus what is my personality or actually my brain, and trying to navigate that. I think that's where chaos is inevitable. Mm-hmm. It is how we handle it. And being okay sometimes with it's just accepting this is how I handle the chaos. And I because I tried very hard. I thought I'd help out, so I cleaned up your office.
Oh God, don't ever do that to an ADHD person. Oh, I have doom drawers, and I know what's in the doom drawer.
Why are you touching my stuff? That's the thing. Like, why? Because you know, it's not even that they're going to find anything. It's just like, now I'm not going to be able to find anything. It's
How
not
could
that
you find anything in the doom drawer? I knew exactly where it was in the doom drawer. I know.
Because I can see it in my head. You can see it in your head, in the drawer, knowing where, like, I know it's here.
Yep.
Look, I know it was here. It's when we say, okay, we're going to organize and put it in this place. It's when we try to be... When normal. We try to be, neurotypical, we try to be organized. When we push ourselves into that, okay, we're going to organize our chaos in a way that is typical. Mm-hmm. That's when our brain goes, what the fuck are you doing? And we don't remember where it is. That's when the frustration comes up. That's when I can't find anything. That's when you start getting very, for me, I start getting very frustrated and like, why can't I be normal? Or I try, you buy all the organizing things to try to organize yourself, and it just doesn't work out. And to try to contain the chaos, because from the outside looking in, it seems like you don't have your shit together, and you judge yourself on that. But the reality is you have your shit together. You're just handling the chaos of life, and you're handling everything in your life differently, and that's okay.
It's like the reverse duck. To everyone else, it looks like your feet are just paddling a mile a minute. But in reality, you're like, no, I know where everything's at. I got this. I know what this is. I have, growing up ADHD, whether you realize it or not, I develop strategies to deal with it. And I bank on those strategies. I bank on knowing where everything's at. And so for everyone else, it seems like, well, how do you possibly know? How do you handle that chaos? For me, it looks like chaos to you, but it's not chaos to me. It is controlled, and you start messing with that, we got a problem. That's a problem.
Why are you
because
messing with my
then
shit?
yeah, because then it becomes chaos everywhere. And you're
Yeah.
right, I get very the intense frustration and anger that can occur.
Anxiety.
And
Oh,
yeah, that when you suddenly when something that is supposed to be where it's at is no longer where it's at, and especially if you know someone moved it, oh, it gets bad. There's a lot of anger and frustration that can well up. And not definitely not and can come out in an unhealthy way. Um, because we people like I rely on that controlled chaos every day.
I actually have a Shifty. Shifty says, I don't know. I feel like I had let my space get too cluttered and cleaned it up and felt better. So I guess it's me dealing with the chaos of clutter. Okay, let me talk to you about dealing with emotional chaos and cleaning up. Let me tell you, the most dangerous words that my friends and my support system can hear me say is, I'm purging, I'm rearranging my furniture, and I'm reorganizing. Those are the three. When I go, they're like, what are you doing? I'm purging. What's wrong? I'm especially when it's an unplanned, like if I haven't talked about it before and I go, I just had the urge to rearrange my furniture. I'm coming over. I need you to call
talk
me.
About it.
Yeah. Because for the longest time before therapy, that was a very way I dealt with the unpredictable when there's like me handling chaos in a triage way, and then there's everybody knows there's that chaos that is beyond, that you can't control, that you can't maintain, and that your strategies aren't working. And so it was my way since I was a kid. When things were overwhelming at that point, that's when I would purge. That's when I would clean. That's when I would like, and I don't mean like pick up, I mean like clean. And Google Sheets for the wood facts. Yep. That's when I would rearrange furniture, like for real. For years I would go, I'm thinking about rearranging my furniture. They're like, they literally, when I rearranged my room a few weeks ago, they were like, what's wrong? I'm checking in on you. What's wrong? I'm like, I'm okay. I'm fine. I don't feel anything right now. They're like,
yeah.
Now I fell apart a few days later, but that's beside the point. It's an external way of me having, when I know that something's about to hit the fan, and I'm not going to be able to control it. So, I mean, yeah.
I grew up in absolute clutter. I grew up I for anyone that doesn't know, I grew up in the home of a hoarder. And so everything was clutter. Everything was I couldn't find anything because it wasn't my clutter. It was just complete chaos. Um and that so anytime I'm in a situation where similar to that, where things start getting that, where there's clutter but there's not control to it, I become extremely anxious, to the point of just completely shutting down. I can't do this. My garage was like that for a while after my divorce. My garage was I couldn't touch it. I couldn't. It just created such anxiety in me. Um, and every time I walked in there, and so I really have a struggle with doing that. For me, like I like what Nerdy Will said about was it spreadsheet, Google Sheets, spreadsheets. I will start organizing things electronically. um or writing things to make that easier. That's kind of how I dig into it. As opposed to I'm not a deep cleaner, so that's not my thing. But I'm just not a deep cleaner. My ADHD doesn't allow that. I'm the organizer. I will rearrange things and wipe things down, but I'm not the deep cleaner. Um, so
Yeah, and Shifty, it's the same for me. And it's just, Yeah. Uh, so I mean, chaos is going to happen. I think that that's where a lot of us. It's what we've experienced chaos to be. Life is chaotic. Is going to be chaotic at points, and how we handle chaos, we can change. I think that's the other thing. Our mental state can change. Now, are there going to be fundamental things with how we deal with it? Yes. Sort of like cleaning our rooms or rearranging our houses or, whatever. But how that makes us feel and how we emotionally for me, I don't get as emotionally dysregulated anymore. Whereas I cry. I cry, but it's because I'm frustrated and I'm tired, but I'm not breaking down where my whole world is falling apart. And it just takes time. And then it also takes grace. Shawn?
So what? Who's Grace? When did Grace come into this?
And Shawn doesn't. Yeah. Shawn is he's so afraid of failure, and so when chaos happens, he's really hard on himself. It's fine. We'll do the best we can. Yeah. We do the best that we can, and that's all we can do. And when faced, and Shawn doesn't like that very much.
Chaos is too much opportunity for failure, because I can't, and failure for me is not an option. I don't fail. I'm the golden child. If I fail, that means I'm not golden anymore, which means not worthy anymore. Yeah, afraid of failing. It is so difficult. Yeah.
Okay, here's one, because we had two different prompts, so we're just sort of bouncing back and forth, and it's the beauty of chaos. I think we talk a lot about chaos. When people hear that, it's for Shawn, it's a scary thing. For Shawn, somebody says, "Oh my gosh, this is chaotic," or "Oh my God, get ready for the chaos." He's like,
yeah.
But there are good things that come out of unpredictability and the chaos in that. And I think that sometimes we miss that. And I think sometimes we get that negative connotation of, because everything has to be organized, everything has to be put in its place, and everything it has to be where it is. But chaos is in some ways, it's that fluidity of life. It's the unpredictability. It's the I don't know what's going to happen. What's that thrill around the next corner? That's still chaos. It's just not scary chaos.
Contrary to what I believe, I do not know best.
Somebody clip that shit. I want that clipped. I want that on. It was on the record, folks. He said that on the record, and I am going to clip that, and I'm going to replay it forever.
Nah, we don't have to. But
oh my God, Shifty. Beauty of chaos sounds like taking the hot girl with the crazy eyes at the bar home. Not sure if you're going to wake up in a bathtub full of ice, Misty.
I mean, Shifty, you're not wrong.
Or you could take her home and you end up marrying her. So I'm just saying, you never know. You could end up in a bathtub full of ice.
I think I would have liked to be in the bathtub full of ice. It would have been quicker.
And less expensive.
And I would have lost less. I would have come out more intact than I did 15 years later.
Fair.
Oh my God. Where was it going? Jeez. Oh, I had a thought. It was a good thought too, and then I just lost it.
I'm sorry. It was the girl in the bathtub.
It was the girl.
Oh no, you said you weren't always right. It's contrary to what you believe. You know.
I'm not always right. If everything worked out according to my plan, doesn't mean that things would have worked out for the best or the because I ain't always right.
I am clipping that one too. I'm going to clip that one right there too. It's going to be the thing that makes me feel better.
um, chaos is the things that I don't plan for. And sometimes the things I don't plan for are the things that work out the best, the things that need to happen. I may not want them to happen, but they need to happen. Anna is one of those. Is absolutely one of those situations. Yeah.
Usually, those people don't see me coming. They don't see me I just sort of drop into people's lives. Actually, I barrel in I just barrel right in, be like, "Hey, we're friends now."
Yeah, you find the biggest introvert, you sit down, and you go, "You're mine now." You're my friend now. You hoard the introverts.
I do hoard the introverts. Hey, I ain't mad at
it. I'm not either. But that's my problem, is that I want to structure everything so tightly that I can control it, but that sometimes is the worst possible thing that can happen. If what I want to have to come to fruition comes to fruition, that doesn't mean it's a good thing. That doesn't mean that it worked out the way it needed to work out. So that's where that realizing that chaos isn't bad. Chaos doesn't mean wrong. Chaos can often end up being the thing that is needed, whether I want it or not. Yeah. So Team AoA is a perfect example of that. It was the chaos, creating Team AoA and just doing it, just going, I don't know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be uncomfortable, but it's gonna happen, and I want to be a part of it. And just doing it. That was one thing I had to be careful not to overthink. Just making a choice instead of analyzing everything, making a choice and going with it.
I think for me, it's just one of those. It's the trial and error of the chaos. Mm-hmm. It's just like you never know what's going to happen. It's sort of nice.
Is it?
What? You don't think so?
What's funny is both create anxiety in me. Even when I've planned things out, I still hold anxiety. And so if I hold anxiety, whether it's planned out or whether it's chaotic, why do I almost always choose the planning things out? They're both hard. They're both exhausting.
Okay, so this is in both of our prompts. It's the emotional support Viking theory.
Oh, this is awesome.
This is awesome. I love the fact that Logan brought this into. It's like, okay, yes. It says everyone needs an emotional support Viking or dragon or bard. Literally, that's what it says.
Yeah. Do you need to explain how that came about?
Well, okay. So we, for those of you who don't watch on Tuesdays, one of our members in Team AoA is Bear, and he is a Viking through and through. Red hair, full Viking. He's been a Viking since we were in BSBN. He is but he, for the longest time when I was going through a rough time, he was my emotional support Viking. He was like, people have scary dog privilege. I have Viking privilege. No one fucked with me. And it's one of those, but for those of you who know Bear and have seen Bear, he is the proprietor of all things that is chaos in the BSBN, in Team AoA. Like, it was always, if it was chaotic, if it was the most chaotic decision, Bear was going to be that guy. It was going to be the guy going, he's the one that came up with the troll toll. Like, he was the one that was like, no, I'm not going to, I'm challenging that role. No. But when shit hits the fan, like really when shit hits the fan, Bear's the person you can rely on, and he's going to come through for you, and he's going to be there. What do you need? And he will fight somebody for you. He will sit with you. He will, okay, what do you need? and he's always there for you. So it's that person who embraces that chaos and encourages you to get out of your structure and get out of that whole mundaneness of everyday life. But also when it comes that chaos maybe is a bit too much and it's too much of a hurricane tornado for you to handle, that person is also going to be like, no, okay, here. And they're going to be your anchor. And so it's the emotional support Viking. Somebody who will certainly fucking fight a witch with a spoon and a cup and at the same time and win, but they're going to get you out of whatever shit you're in. So yeah. So yeah, I mean,
I think we all need that person that provides that balance for us. When I get too structured, I need someone who goes, "Ooh, here's the chaos. Here's the chaos. Just here you go, have fun. Go do this thing. I'm gonna throw this at you. We're gonna do this."
Oh, okay. Okay, number 16. Well, actually, number 14. Okay, who in our friend group is the biggest source of chaos?
That's a tough
It
one.
is a tough one because it depends.
At some point, each of us the chaos will ensue. In our RPG podcast, I think Bear is the chaotic one. Bear loves to just poke at everything.
But that's where you shine a little bit, Shawn. You boop the snoot of a shark. I mean, come on.
That's
why you and Bear in our RPG podcast in 3 Parts and a Dragon. That's where the chaos, like you actually, I feel like that's where you shine the most. You're structured
that.
Life. You have like your little structure. You're just like that's your safe space. Well, see, I lick everything, and I like when we have another campaign going, and it's always like I'm gonna lick it, and even Logan at this point, who's he's like, really, yeah. But he licks people. I lick things like.
But no, you're right, and I've really enjoyed in our RPG podcast on Tuesdays. I've really kind of enjoyed embracing that of not having to have everything structured, not going in with a plan.
Bear did seduce a door in one.
He stroked and caressed that door, and it flew off the hinges.
Anyway, I'm steering this train. We're gonna exit stage left. But I think that speaking of that chaos is like Shawn and I just all of us in our professional lives it's very much Shawn's in IT, so it's like very numbers and structure and all this stuff, and like I'm a graphic designer, but at the same time, I have 2 jobs. It's like, and Jay and I are very customer service. So it's like, you never know what's hitting you, and you never you have to stay very structured. And so it's nice for us to let loose, but in our I think that's helped you a lot. I think honestly, 3 Parts of the Dragon has helped you a whole lot, Shawn. I've never seen you as chaotic as you were before. You don't give a shit.
When I started, I was still very structured. When I started, I was in my head, and I was worried like, what are people going to think? That's my thing. That was why I stayed off the camera for so long in BSBN. That's why I stay behind the scenes. Is because, oh my God, what are people going to think? People are going to laugh at me. People are going to whatever. And I've been able. Yeah. Adam
Sandler for the win.
I've through the years through therapy, I've worked on that, and to where like now I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna enjoy the chaos. It's just gonna happen. I'm gonna stop thinking it and just do it. Just do the thing. That's where I found I operate pretty well, is when I just stop planning every single possibility and just start doing it. And it works out.
Clip that. Next time when you start Just
over
do
planning,
it.
overthinking.
It can't be that simple. I think honestly, out of our friend group, we're all chaos in our own way.
At different points, yeah.
At different points. And I think that's where the emotional support, like we're all each other's emotional support Vikings. Like I think that it just depends on what the chaos is. And honestly, as a group, we all have learned who to navigate that towards. Like when we had like y'all don't know, but Jay is really like on it. Like y'all like assume that I'm the one that's I can be really organized when it comes to like getting shit together and putting it out there and Jay's on that shit. We're like, he's like, okay, he comes
to
our
a
meetings.
con that Jay's working, and you'll see the structure, you'll see the plan,
and the rest of us are like, look, I look cute. Like it's a.
that's where chaos, our chaos and our planning really comes together.
I know.
Is in the con when we do the con.
But I think that honestly, if I'm going to be 100% honest, and which we try to be on this podcast, the group we had before was chaotic, but it was very much that yes, you embrace the chaos, but the chaos it was destructive. It was, let's see how chaotic we can be without ever considering what the long-term effects of what this is going to do to the people that are involved, to whatever. It was just like, see how far we can push it. And Mouse, she's literally like, running his base. No.
It's chaos for chaos sake.
Yes.
Regardless of the outcome. Regardless of who it affected.
And I think with Team AoA, it's different in that it's chaos, but it's never destructive chaos. It is never chaos for chaos sake. It's chaos for fun's sake. It's if it's not fun, if it's not constructive.
Hey,
Unreal Lifts. Oh, hi.
Oh.
It's always constructive. Like the chaos is a fun chaos. I don't think that there's ever a chaos that I ever feel afraid or embarrassed of what might happen. I know. I was just thinking that.
Yeah, I was too. I was like, good to see you, Unreal.
But whereas in our previous group, that wasn't the case, because I think the chaos sort of made me nervous. Because it's like, what damage control did I have to do? What safeguards did I have to put into place? And I don't ever have that with our group now. And it's not that all the people as individuals are bad, because there are people I fucking love and will like lay on the sword for. But I think as just all of us, I mean, us and me included, it's one of those, it was like the chaos for chaos sake. And it got just, let's see how far we can push this. And it was just not... Sometimes
it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable, and not uncomfortable as in what we talked about earlier, where no, it's chaos. It was uncomfortable as in like you felt wrong. Like this didn't feel healthy. It didn't feel like, is this really what we want to be doing? Is this really what we want to put out? Is this the chaos we want to embrace? And it was like, no, I don't feel good about this.
Right.
Whereas with Team AoA, it's like you said, it's been we're chaos, but we're doing good. We're having fun. We're enjoying it. I've never walked away from Team AoA stuff that we've done and gone, I felt ick. I felt like,
I've never felt that we ever went too far.
Yeah, we gotta push. We gotta push a little bit sometimes.
I think this last episode was like, even Jay was like, he's like, you okay? I was like, fuck no, I'm not. He goes, oh.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
He's like, you went way too far. Thanks.
But how do we, I think one of the differences between then and now is how we come back from that. Because I think there's always a point where we go a little much. But how do we recover? How do we repair? How do we, do we see, before, I don't feel like we ever really did that. It was like, there was not really repair.
Because chaos is going to happen. Chaos is going to happen. It's inevitable.
Yeah. There's always a point where it may go a little too far for one person or more, but What do you do when that happens?
Constructive chaos versus destructive chaos.
Yes.
Exactly.
Good. Yeah, Jay, absolutely. Yeah. I love our constructive chaos.
Okay, so how do you know when to listen to the responsible friend versus the chaos gremlin?
It's like the little on the shoulder. We don't have angels and demons. We have
No. It depends on what we're doing. And it depends. It really, really does depend what the problem is.
Yeah.
We almost 100% always listen to MJ.
Of course. Yeah. You got to listen. Absolutely. Yeah.
We always listen to MJ. We listen to MJ.
But I think the answer to that is also the constructive versus destructive. There are things that we could do that might make good content, that might be fun, or we might get a response out of. But how does it affect the people that are in it? They're like, we all have triggers. We all have things that hit us different, and the audience may love it and they may find it funny, but we don't. And so I think that's a big part of whether it's responsible or chaos. What's the outcome? Is there damage? Could there be damage from this? And sometimes we know it goes too far sometimes, and then we have to repair. But when you know it's too far and you still push it, I think that's where you're like, okay, that's the balance between the responsible and the gremlin. Yeah, I could say this thing and it'd be funny, but there's gonna have to be repair. And is that right? Knowing that that's what's gonna happen.
Ron's a little triggered by this conversation right now. If you haven't noticed, he's gotten a little emphasize on that. And we've hit a nerve.
There was a lot of stuff that happened.
Now, there are individuals in that. I mean, it was not the whole group. Oh, I just don't want it to seem, because we really did enjoy being a part of that group and that organization. We did. It got to the point where it's just, sometimes things happen, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But fair. That's also fair. And that's where I'm leaving that. That is where I'm leaving that.
Yeah.
Shifty.
Yeah. What about do you have any other thoughts on when to listen to the responsible friend versus the chaos?
I think for me, because I am the person in most of my friend groups that has to be the responsible one. Like, if you look at Three Bards and a Dragon, like, if we're all going to go by our normal, regular, everyday lives, I'm probably the most chaotic out of all of them. In what I do every day, how I act, my personality, I am the most chaotic out of all of them. I am the fuck it, let's see what happens. Like, I'm that person. But when we're in our friend group, I'm the one that's like, okay, guys, time out. So I think for me, it's one of those. It just depends. Like, it depends on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10 for me, I'm like, fuck it, we'll see what happens. I've already thought about like, it could work. It couldn't work. But I'm also not anymore, thanks to therapy and a lot of work and my people pleasing and perfectionism, which still a struggle and still a thing. But I think this has also been a tool to help me. And I feel like a lot of people don't say that either. And Shawn has talked about it in this podcast, that when you're planning and you're trying to be the perfectionist, sometimes embracing the chaos really can be very healing. Because then you realize that beautiful and fun things can come out of the chaos When you relinquish that control, when you let go and just accept things as is, chaos can be beautiful and fun. Can it be scary and dangerous? Absolutely. But just like anything else in life, there are two sides to every coin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sex is a great, beautiful thing for intimacy, but it can also be used as self-harm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, so 9 times out of 10, I'm choosing chaos. We all know this, even in a structured environment.
We do. Yeah.
Shawn, and 9 times out of 10, Shawn's going to choose the structured one.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Don't let him fool you.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm highly structured. That's what I said. Even my chaos is somewhat structured.
Like at Thanksgiving when we're like, we're just going to go do this. He's like, okay. Like, what's the plan? We're like, we don't have a plan. There's no plan.
No, we gotta have a plan.
And
we gotta be efficient.
He'll be looking things up. He'll be like secretly like trying to organize shit. And we're like, no, get in the car.
I'm trying to organize this chaos and they're not letting me. Let me organize your chaos.
No. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. Here's some serious questions to just sort of bring things to a close. Do you think controlled chaos is something people can learn to manage, or is it just part of who they are?
I think you can absolutely learn to manage. I think we're examples of learning to manage that. It's not. I wouldn't say it's easy. I think for me, it's been difficult to manage that, to be okay with what makes me uncomfortable. I think we grow up learning how to manage it one way, and like for me, I learned to deal with life through structure. Too far, it was unbalanced, and so I've had to learn how to balance that out with some chaos. So I've learned to kind of manage that a little bit. That's still not balanced, but it's better. um Question mark. Yeah, no, it is better because I have embraced more chaos. Whether I've embraced more chaos, and that didn't come just by random happenstance. That came from understanding why. It came from me understanding why I didn't embrace chaos. Why was I so afraid of chaos? And dealing with that part of it. Oh, I'm afraid of what people are going to how people are going to see me. I'm afraid of looking stupid. I'm afraid of these things. And then dealing with that and going, oh, chaos can be fun. Chaos can be interesting. Chaos can be positive. And allowing that to happen, allowing myself to embrace the chaos. And the more I start to embrace that, it gets a little bit easier to do it the next time.
So. I think for me, it's also helped not creating the chaos. In that, because I was always prepared for the worst, I was creating chaos where there wasn't. I was preparing myself for chaos that wasn't there. And I think for me now, it's more of the acceptance of that, acceptance of chaos is going to happen, but also peace is going to happen. And calm is going to happen, and accepting that part of it, and not creating the chaos when there are calm moments in my life, not intentionally creating or preparing for the other shoe to drop and preparing for the chaos that inevitably will happen. I think it's just living in the present. That's definitely how I manage it. So I think that's just a big change. You can't control the chaos. You can live in that state of I'm in a current state of chaos, but I can manage through it. What's one piece of advice you'd give for somebody struggling to balance the chaos?
I think it's understanding what we're afraid of, what you're afraid of. What if? Like between you and my therapist, I've had the what if turned on me so many times. Well, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if? Okay. What if it doesn't? Um, allowing it to happen, which is not easy. Easier said than done. Um, but just allowing those things, just it's okay that it's going to happen.
I think for me, it's I go back to my favorite saying: "Is a smooth seas don't make a skilled sailor," and it's finding chaos. Just like anything, storms are going to happen. Chaos is going to happen. The same storms equivalent. Storms are going to happen. What are you going to learn through it? Because you're going to make it through. What did you learn from it? And sometimes you just got to learn how to ride it out. But in the end, you're going to get through it. And it's embracing that thought process. Storms are going to happen. You're going to ride it out. And that's okay. What you learn from that. Because the next storm will eventually come. But you're not going to be the same person because you learned from it.
That's a good point.
So don't treat every storm the same. Don't treat every round of chaos the same. That's a piece of advice.
That's good. That's good advice.
Live in the now. Embrace the now.
Ooh. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. When you laugh like that, I'm like, oh God, what's happening? What's coming on here?
If you could give advice to your younger, even more chaotic self, what would you say?
Are you saying younger self is more chaotic?
Yeah.
My younger self wasn't chaotic at all. My younger self was structured. What
would you tell your younger self in regards to the life being chaos?
I know the thing that comes to mind.
Well, then say it.
Life is chaos. Be kind.
Oh, that's good. Do you think you would have listened to yourself?
Not a chance. No. But no, I wouldn't have. I don't think I would have at all. I was much more traumatized so deeply within the church that not. And when I say be kind, that goes both ways. Because I wasn't kind to other people and I wasn't kind to myself. So like you said, chaos happens. Life is chaos. Be kind.
I don't know what advice I'd give my younger self because I wouldn't listen to my ass anyway.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Chaos is not a constant state of being. There are people there. You can live a life that is in a constant state of chaos and drama. It is possible. I wouldn't have believed it.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I mean, honestly, our community, would anyone think their younger self would have listened to our older self? I doubt it. I mean, that's why we are the way we are, is because we just
trauma.
Yeah, the trauma. Yeah,
that's why we are the way we are with trauma.
The trauma. Yeah, very true.
Well, this episode was chaotic, and I was here for it. Every single inch of it. Yeah, it's fine.
Absolutely.
You know what, though? This is one thing that we didn't touch on. You being the crit fail bard. We want to talk about chaos and failure, and
oh my god,
Shawn is the critical fail bard. He's the crit fail bard.
And I earned that. That wasn't just a name given to me. I completely earned that.
You did.
The first roll, for people that don't know, the first roll in our RPG podcast, the very first roll that was my roll, and I rolled a 1. And in that first episode, the very last roll that I rolled was a 1. And for some reason, the dice seem to hate me. The RNGesus dice hate me. I get
We're
so
talking about
many
chaos.
dice.
We all know. If Shawn's rolling, we about to hit some shit.
But I embrace that because I know it. So I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna roll knowing this die is gonna go horribly wrong and it's gonna be chaotic. So let me roll.
So much foreshadowing in that episode. There was so.
Yeah. Yup.
You're allowed to be. Life's gonna be chaotic. You're allowed to have chaos in your life. It allows color in. I think it allows color in your life.
Yeah, black and white is just not the way to go.
No. Blood's red.
I mean, that's true. Oh. Wow. There's color. Yep.
There it is. Color commentary.
So is fire.
Yeah. All right. Well, Shawn, what time is your Lego stream tonight?
So I am streaming tonight at 6:30 Eastern on my channel.
Rude, ma'am.
Is your naked potato cat the one causing problems?
Me. She drew blood.
Really?
She's being mean.
Let me throw some links right there in the chat. So there's some links for our Team AoA. Yeah, so Lego stream tonight at 6:30 Eastern. I am continuing the garage build. It is the car garage build, the custom car garage build, which has been really fun. Got a couple bags left, 3 bags left today. So that's on my channel, Dorian Sombra. And then we have Tuesday, 3 Bards and a Dragon, 7:30 Eastern on the Team AoA channel. That's where we roll a die and let it ruin our lives. And cause chaos.
Yes. And then Jay's on Wednesday.
Yep. At 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central.
Oh, yeah, you should go follow him, Eric.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Go follow me, go follow Jay, go follow Bear, and Team AoA. What are you playing with? What is that?
Oh, it's a little 3D printed moo cow.
Oh, that's cute. That is very cute. 3D. Oh, it's a.
You got a badonkadonk. It's got a badonkadonk.
It does.
I have more. I bought this one, but I have more 3D printed shit. And I'm like, Jay sends me shit. He prints it because he wants to, and then all of a sudden a box shows up, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Are you upset that you get gifts? That gifts just randomly show up?
I'm like, here, hey, oh, you want that? Here you go. No, I'm not upset that I get gifts. I think it's just one of those. I had to make a rule for Jay at this point. I had to make a rule. He's only allowed to give me 2 gifts at a time, and one has to be practical and one of use, and then one has to be like, because he's like a 3D printing, and so like I'm cool with it. It's just I'm running out of space.
You have a lot of stuff. Speaking of clutter.
Yeah, right. Dump truck folks account. Yeah, but he is actually printing me a dragon tail. It goes all the way to the floor.
An articulating one?
It does. It's an articulating one.
Nice.
It goes all the way to the floor. So.
Oh my god, that's fantastic.
So I can actually hurt you at con now.
Oh, okay, because you mean physically? Because emotionally you're already there. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, you're not. That's why you can't make eye contact. The Dragon of Chaos. I am the Dragon of Chaos. Even Shifty, damn. He's like, now Shawn's gonna want to stay on the air because he doesn't.
We're gonna stay on the line. Sorry, that was one of those just.
Apparently, Shawn's embracing the chaos, and now he wants to see the world burn. fine.
Bad.
All right. Well, we will see you guys later.